Is the Prideful Goat a better franchise than the Houston Rockets right now?
Has to be currently right now. Houston's terrible.
Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we are reviewing not one bottle, but 2 bottles of Prideful Goat.
I'm super excited about this. So I always like to, I always try to, if I can find good craft distilleries or good startups or whatever, I always want to try to review them because they're good. The problem is, if I'm being honest, most of them kind of suck. And some of it is just because they got to get product out, because they got to make money. Some of it is because just the stuff isn't good, or they're trying to make a cash grab. So I try not to review something, or Dave, kind of the same route here. We try not to review something that can potentially down the road be really good.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to crap on them for just starting out and whatever. But with the Prideful Goat, these guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I can already tell you, go ahead and buy it right now. Because I love them. I've been drinking on them for a hot minute now.
Yes.
And if you all watched any of our videos last year, I've been really high on the single barrel pick I got from the Junkies for the Prideful Goat Rye. And I know they're supposed to be doing that this year, and I am super excited. To give you all a little bit of a background on this, this is basically a startup between a couple people. Some of you all might know Chris Hart from Whiskey Neat. He does a podcast. It's, where he interviews different celebrities and they try whiskey. He'll have occasionally like some comedians on or some bourbon people on. And then one of the other guys who people also might know, Randy from Bourbon Real Talk and his community, they helped start all this. I don't know all the details about it.
Yeah.
But there's a ton of information out there you can find about it.
Google it.
But they basically started sourcing products from MGP. And then they came up with a great name and a Prideful Goat.
It is a great name.
It's a hilarious name. Yeah, it's like a name that's like, A, it stands out, and B, like we're here to have a good time, not be taken too seriously, and whatever, right? So I absolutely love that.
Yep.
I have not got to try the 15-year. Chris, what was really funny is I've actually reached out to him in the past before, and he reached out on one of the comments, and because we had heard rumor from somebody that potentially there was going to be a 15-year release again, and he's like, no,
he's like, no, I'm in this, and there is no 15-year.
There's definitely not any of that.
So let's clear that up. There's no 15-year.
Yeah,
mysteriously going to appear.
Unless Chris, if you watch this and you just want to clear that up again,
Hey, Chris, here's another good idea. Because your goat is so awesome, I think you should do a goat topper right on here.
Oh my gosh, that would be
so
tater.
All the taters would go after it, and I just want a bottle of it. That's all I want.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Overall, you want to start with the rye or the bourbon first?
Let's go rye.
Okay. So with the rye, this is, by the way, the company, I think it's Giant Texas Distilling Company. No, this is the bourbon, sweetheart.
Oh, daggone it.
Yeah, the rye is this one.
Sorry, I went wrong.
Of course he's wrong. But anyways, I believe it's called Giant Texas Distilling Company. I think they switched names or something. But it's 115 proof, which is right up our alley. It's 6 years old. It's 95.5.
Right up our alley.
We all know that. And then the MSRP for it's $65.99.
Yeah.
Which again, I love that I'm seeing smaller companies not charge an arm and a leg for 4 to 6 year product.
I mean, here's the truth: if you put it in the $45 to $65 to $70 range, you're more likely to get somebody to try it.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And not feel bad about it. If this was terrible, which it's not, if this was terrible, you wouldn't feel bad about the price that you bought it for, because you're like, man, they're trying. I can see where it's going to be good down the road or whatever,
I had to make sure which one you put it in.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I just had to make sure.
I did. And you can tell this is the rye.
So here's what's really funny. I was talking to some friends about this at a get together not too long ago, and I was talking about the Prideful Goat on how I've really been enjoying it so far. And they're like, yeah, but isn't that just more of that 6-year MGP that's been coming out that hasn't been good? Because there's been kind of a wave of 6-year MGP that's been hitting, and it hasn't been. I'm telling you guys, it's not. And to me, if I'm being honest with you, the rye is almost super different than a traditional MGP rye for 6 years.
Yep. I would probably have a tendency to agree with that. Although you can still smell the MGP in its rye.
You can. I'm not saying you can't.
Yeah.
There's a couple of notes on here that, to me, I don't really recall certain MGPs. Like I was trying to go back through and I was sampling out some stuff that was 6 year.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I can't. Some of these notes are just a little different to me.
I think right away, like there's like a graham cracker smell in there.
Mm-hmm.
That.
So that's one of them.
Yeah.
I agree with 1,000%.
Like you can get that right off the top of it, especially like if you've drank MGP rye, you always get that same kind of smell right at the beginning of it. You just do. It is naturally in it, and you can't really get away from that. But because you smell that all the time, it's not like I just bypass that when I'm doing that with the MGP rye and trying to really get behind it. And that graham cracker, I think, is the thing that stands out to me in that.
There's so much of a tropical orange, citrus, lime note to it, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah,
I really do.
It's definitely got citrusy there. There's like a toffee on the
toffee is super rich in this, in my opinion. The toffee comes off it like on the front of the palate, it's not there, and then on the back, it just keeps going. Yeah, and it goes into the finish a little bit.
And it's got a great spice on the backside of it. Mm-hmm. I definitely agree with that. I agree where it's not. I think it's not a traditional MGP rye.
So the two notes to me that I get with this that I can't really recall getting this off of another MGP rye is toffee and caramel. Like I don't really recall.
Yeah.
Like there probably is some somewhere, but just like there is a defined caramel and toffee note that I get. I'm just like that's really unique and that's nice.
There's still a twinge of that mintiness in there.
See, I don't really get any mint.
Just because I know it's there, like I taste it.
Yeah, I still.
It's not overwhelming by any means.
Sure.
And I like the finish. I think it's got just enough finish on it. That I enjoy that.
That spice on the finish is so nice.
Yeah.
It's like perfect. It's like a little bit more than what you'd maybe want, but it's not like overwhelming.
And it's good drying to it, I think.
Yeah.
Which I like. So
that rye is incredible.
That's a good rye. I'm slowly becoming a rye person. So
welcome to the dark side of the force.
Our little jokes that have been over the last 2 years are like no longer taking aim right at me.
That rye is good.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, on to the bourbon.
I cleansed my palate and then just took another drink of it.
Because he's a rye guy now.
Amateur. I'm an amateur. Again, right there, it's like at that perfect proof, 115, 114.8.
Yeah, I was going to say, so basically for this, I don't remember the mash bill. I don't know if they say it on here or not.
I don't.
That's my mistake. I'll put it in the comments below whenever we go to talk about it, because I'll be honest with you, I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, this is also a 6 year, 114.8 proof. And then the price for this is also $65.99 for us locally. They could all be a little different for everybody.
It'll alter.
Depends on the market.
Yeah.
But
all right, I like that. This not as sweet smelling on the nose to me. It's more more cherry, dark fruit kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a really nice like dark cherry cola note.
Yeah.
On the nose.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like an art. It's very artificial. Like it's a artificial kind of flavor to it.
And then there's. It's gonna sound weird, but it almost smells like cakey in some ways, and I don't know if that's weird.
Like it would be like a cherry Coke cake.
My wife used to make like cherry Coke cakes. Like you get cherry Coke, yeah. Instead of using
That's
like
a thing.
yes, instead of using
I
like
learn something new every day.
milk or dairy, you use cherry Coke in it.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's like some low fat thing or something or another. But it's good.
Wait, sodas are low fat?
Huh?
Sodas are low fat?
No, probably not. But I mean, it's using cherry Coke, so I mean, there's still something sweet in there.
The sugars.
All right. I mean, I like the smell of this one too. I think the oakiness, like that's on the palate. You get that oak right on it. Cherry.
I was gonna say there's a huge cherry bomb mixed in with oak on that.
Yep.
And it's really long. But there's like not a lot of spice that I get on that finish.
No, there's not.
There's some decent heat with that, but it's not like ethanol heat.
No, I feel like because we drank the rye first, and the rye had a good spice on the end of it, it almost makes this one seem way more tame than probably it would be if this was the first drink that we had.
Maybe.
But
whenever I say that too, I also want to point out, a lot of times whenever I talk about notes like with like heat or whatever, I talk about like sharpness of that or the ethanol note of that. And it's not. It's very well rounded. It's very well balanced.
There's zero of that. I like this a lot.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I like this probably more than I like the rye, but not either one of them. You're gonna be fine with. So if you're at your local liquor store and they have one of the two, they don't have both of them, I would pick either one of them up and not feel bad at all about picking them up. There
is a cherry syrup note on the palate that I love. That's really good.
Yeah, honestly, it is really, really, really good.
So which one do you like more? You like the bourbon more than the rye?
I think I do like the bourbon more than the rye, but it's close. And I'm not normally going to say that, but it's really, really close. If I was in the mood for something spicy to kind of just like let me know, the rye would be what I would probably go for. Yeah. Of the two, but this is smooth, man. This would taste good in an old fashioned.
I think they would both. Yeah. I mean, I think you could drink them.
Yeah, I think they both
on the rocks or in any kind of mix, and it would be. It'd be really good.
I'm very happy with both of these. I was happy with the pick, the Junkies pick. I thought that was fantastic. These equally are as good, and I'm very, very happy with the Prideful Goat. Yep, love it. That a name that is so playful and so fun.
Yep, and you know what? I just realized something. Oh, by the way, I would take the rye over the bourbon, but I agree with you. I think it's really close. I think they're both great, and they would both be great staples on a bar. Yeah. I also forgot to say this is batch number 3 on the rye, and then this is batch 1 with the bourbon. I've not had the other first two batches, but if they're anything along this, they are great.
Yep, super, super cool.
So,
anyways, they're definitely buys. I think you should. Again, if a craft distillery comes around and they are worth their weight in their liquid, support them, buy it.
Yeah, 1,000%
for sure.
I need a shirt and hoodie of this.
Oh yeah, a hoodie would be really awesome. So all right, well, till next time,
we'll see you.
We'll see you.